We'll now step into module number 3, where we'll try to understand that it's quite possible to achieve odds at any time in life. It's also possible to overcome any kind of challenges in order to achieve a dream that one has. A young boy, 95% visually challenged. He came to our classes for the CA final, and that time we were running our classes in a building where the classes were held in the second floor. When you see him, you would never know that he is visually challenged. When somebody introduced me to him, I asked him, if you want, I will make sure that you get only the first or second row, and we'll make sure that there is no disturbance when you come in. He said, no, it's fine. I think I can manage. This person, like anybody else, he used to board a bus, attend the classes, and there used to be someone who used to help him with his writing. That particular exam, after the results came in, he qualified as a CA. Today he works with the Reserve Bank of India. His name is Jairam. Someone who is 95% visually challenged to go on and conquer a chartered accountancy exam, I personally thought was really touching. There are many such people who have overcome not physical hardships, they overcome economic hardships as well to do outstandingly well. I would like to share the story of a 69-year-old gentleman. This gentleman was the partner of a well-known accounting firm in Chennai. It was time for students to get their leave for exams, and a student went up to him and said, "Sir, I need 3 months holiday for my exam." This partner was 69 years old. He told her, "Why do you need 3 months exam holidays? It is enough that you take 1.5 months. Very disappointed, that lady picked up the telephone, the office telephone, from somewhere, some other room in the office, and spoke to a friend of hers. She told the friend of hers that, look, we have a grand old man in our office. I do not know whether he did chartered accountancy. He's a partner of our firm. Even if he had done chartered accountancy, he did chartered accountancy long years ago, when the first question in the CA final exam," that was her words, "the first question in the CA final exam, which used to be thought to be the most complicated kind of question, would be prepare trading and profit and loss account of a sole proprietor." Her bad luck, this partner overheard the conversation, because by mistake he had picked up a telephone. Those were the landline days. He picked up the telephone in his room and he overheard the conversation. It must be said to the everlasting credit of this partner that he did not pull her up. He said, "Well, I did my CA many years ago. Now I am going to go to prove this girl wrong, that it is possible to study for 1.5 months and get through the exam. I am now going to join cost and works accountancy." And he went on to do his cost and works accounting. And at the age of 72, 2.5 years later, he qualified as a CWA. Even today, right here in Chennai, in the currently completed exam, there is a lady, 60 plus, 65. Her grandson is a chartered accountant. She's passed her IPCC exam. She didn't start her IPCC 25, 30, 40 years back. She decided to do her IPCC 2.5, 3 years back. She passed. What I'm trying to tell you is that just like physical challenges are not a challenge, similarly age is not also a challenge. Now, don't go out today and tell, "No, I was told that we can pass CA at 68, so I will pass CA at 68. That's not the moral of the story. We are today in this segment that we have titled, Yes, We Can. We are going to talk about the 3 I's and 3 P's of success. The first I is interest. The second I is intelligence. The third I is involvement. And with reference to each one of these 3, or at least with reference to 2 of these 3, I'm going to tell you some stories. And then Mr. Manoharan, in his own inimitable style, will tell you how important is it to persevere, how important is it to prepare, how important is it to plan. What do you see there? You see a boy very excited. What is he interested in? Playing. What should be the level of interest when you are sitting here today or when you do your chartered accountancy? How much interest you should have? I'm going to say that the interest that has to be there has to be absolute. I'll tell you a story. This happened many years ago, but it's a story with which I relate to because I know that it happened. There was a young boy who was appearing for an interview to the medical college. Those were the days when after your class 12, you also wrote a test, you also wrote an entrance exam for the medical school, and then the selected candidates used to go through an interview and get recruited. At the interview, this young boy who had done exceedingly well in his class 12 and who had done wonderfully well in his exam, at the interview, he was answering all questions wonderfully. And then suddenly, one of the three guys on the interview panel noticed that there was a gap in his biodata. A gap in his CV would mean that, let's for a moment assume that the interview is taking place in 2014 June. This guy had passed his class 12 in 2009. And then for 5 long years, there was nothing in the CV. There was a gap. So the interviewer asked him, one of the panelists asked him, what were you doing during the last 5 years? And for the first time in the course of the entire interview, this boy kept quiet. Then the second interviewer asked him, do let us know what you were doing. Whatever you might have been doing in the past does not matter. Your seat to the medical college is assured. Unmindful of what you were doing in the last 5 years, we'll give you a seat to the medical college. The boy was again quiet. And then the third man said, young boy, even if the last 5 years you were in Tihar jail, undergoing a prison term, it does not matter. Your seat to the medical college is assured. Please tell me what you were doing during 5 years. And this boy said, during the last 5 years, I was studying at the Indian Institute of Technology. They asked him, what were you doing at IIT? He said, at IIT, I was studying engineering. And then they asked, were you thrown out of the engineering college? He said, no, I was not thrown out of the engineering college. I got the second rank in my class in IIT, and I studied computer science. The interview board was flabbergasted. They said, you have studied at one of India's best engineering schools. You have studied one of the most contemporary courses there. Today, if you walk into America, you will get a job. Why are you not going there? Why are you not studying further on engineering? Why are you not into software and technology? Why are you into medicine? You know what the boy said? The boy said, sir, my heart is in medicine. And the interview panelist half jokingly asked, 5 years ago, where was your heart? The boy said, 5 years ago also, my heart was in medicine. Then why did you do engineering? Father told me to do engineering. Then the interview panel said, okay, father told you to do engineering, you did engineering. Now why are you not doing what your father wants you to do? He said, my father is no more. Now I want to do what I want to do. That's no laughing matter. In fact, that's serious matter. Here was a young boy who had allowed 5 years of his life to go up in smoke, chasing somebody else's dream, chasing somebody else's interest. That somebody else might be as respected and as close as the father. But ultimately, we must remember that if you don't have interest in what you want to do or what you are doing, then you will find it very, very challenging. You will find it very, very difficult. I would think that no, this boy was extremely sensible, that at some point in time he realized that no, engineering is not my cup of tea, and went on to do medicine. What I'm trying to tell you is that it is very important for us to develop 100% interest in whatever we are doing. So if there is anybody here, okay, who is into chartered accountancy, because somebody has compelled you to be there, but your heart and soul is not in CA, your heart and soul is, let us say, in making movies, or your heart and soul is, let us say, in journalism, or your heart and soul is in television, then I think you must chase those dreams rather than to chase a dream which is not actually your dream. That's attribute number 1, which is interest. Attribute number 2 is intelligence. You know this man? Srinivas Ramanujam. You know why he is famous? Mathematics. He was a great mathematician. You know something? He appeared in the entrance exam for the Madras University 3 times. All 3 times he failed. and he failed in mathematics. No jokes, serious. What kind of intelligence do you need to do chartered accountancy? Average. I don't intend to tell you guys that you're not intelligent because you're doing CA. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that to do chartered accountancy or to do academically well anywhere, you don't have to have great amount of intelligence. In fact, in order to be successful in life, academic intelligence is not what is the most important thing. Academic intelligence or doing well in exams for sure is important, but that is not what is going to drive success in life. Again, don't quote me wrong. Don't go and tell your parents, no, today we were told that no, we don't have to do well in academics in order to do well in life. So from tomorrow I will not study. Don't do that. Okay, take a look at these four gentlemen whose name is also coming up there. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was named by the Time magazine as being the most influential personality of the 20th century. He was considered to be more influential than our own Mahatma Gandhi. And when he was in school, Albert Einstein's teacher called Albert Einstein's mother and told her, please take away this boy from school because he is stupid. He asks all kinds of stupid questions. And this boy who used to ask all kinds of stupid questions, he went on to become the most influential personality of the 20th century. And like I said, more influential according to the Time magazine than our very own Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Second man, you know him? Who is he? Founder of Ford Motor Company. He barely passed school. And when he produced his first car, he forgot to have the reverse gear. But that did not stop him from being reckoned today as the father of the modern assembly line. Third man, nobody can forget. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard, founded a small company, Microsoft, in a garage. And today, what is it? It's, I think, the most important company in the world. That man, he was perhaps the first man in this country who showed that we can compete or do well or think as big as any foreign company. He was, as all of you definitely know, a petrol pump attendant. He did not have dad's money to help him out. And from petrol pump attendant, he in just one lifetime across the next 30 years, went on to become the chairman of a Fortune 500 company. He, I don't think, went beyond class 11. So academic intelligence is what is not the most important. Academic intelligence is necessary, but even if it is average, that is fine. If you have an IQ of 150, great. If you are a school topper, wonderful, no problems about that. If you got the state second rank, excellent, they're all good. But if you're none of that, it also does not matter, because to be successful in CA, you need to have average kind of intelligence. Third one, involvement. You have to tell me what is it that first comes to your mind after I narrate an incident to you. I'll narrate an incident to you. The first thing that comes to your mind, you must later tell me what it is, right? After this session is over, you get down from this venue, walk onto the road. What first comes to your mind as you see a lorry hit a car? What happens to persons inside? Good. Car is having insurance or not? Excellent, wonderful. I'll tell you what my friend tells me. I have a friend, a psychologist friend, who gives me wonderful ideas. He tells me it is possible from how people respond to know what profession they belong to. He says that an engineer, when he sees an accident like this, if he thinks how many people are inside, how many of them have to be rushed to the hospital, where is the nearest hospital, then he has done no justice to his 4 years of engineering. My psychologist friend tells me that an engineer should first and foremost think, what caused the accident? Was it a brake that failed? Was it the horn that did not work? He says that is what should come to the mind of an engineering student. He says if a young doctor, when he or she sees an accident, tells herself why did the brake fail, etc., then she has done no justice to her medical studies. The first thing that should come to her mind is how many people have to be rushed to the hospital, what is the first aid that can be given. The first thing which will come to the mind of a certain professional, which is who was wrong, who came on the right side, who came on the left side, which profession is that? Law. My friend actually told me it is policemen. Looks like policemen and lawyers are same these days. Okay. Then my friend also said that what should come to the mind of a good cost accounting professional, whether the car has insurance or no insurance. And then he looked at me and told me in all seriousness, the first thing that should come to the mind of a good financial accountant is which account should be debited and which account should be credited. He says that is what is involvement. He says you must be so good to your profession that anything that comes in should be like that. But you don't become like that. Your involvement should be adequate. It should not be so total that you forget everything else. So what were the three attributes? Interest. How much interest? Absolute. Average. Adequate involvement. You now possess all the three. Then you should next get to know what are the strategies for success.